Hello everyone, hello world, hello OpenEdX. Welcome to this new stream on OpenEdX development. Okay, so I'm getting an error message from YouTube saying that the streaming resolution is not right. Hopefully it's working, I think. Let me check that. If I open the video. Copy. Let's open that in a new tab. So it seems to be working, I guess. So I'm still figuring out the streaming thing. So as usual, feel free to say hi when you show up in the stream. Ask any questions. Today we will be hacking on edX platform. And of course we will be using Tutor for that. So maybe a quick recap of what happened during the past week. As usual, we're working on the next release, so Nutmeg, which will happen in 3 weeks on June 9th. So we upgraded the e-commerce plugin thanks to Pierre Maillot from EduLib. Thank you, Pierre. So he opened this PR e-commerce tool. He opened this Nutmeg PR, so that's Samba Pete, where he upgraded the plugin from V0 to V1, and for that he used the video that I made last week. So thank you, Pierre. This e-commerce plugin was deployed to the Nutmeg demo platform. So you should be able to type nutmeg.openedx.demo.overhang.io. Is this thing going to work? I hope. Yes. So we need to sign in. But otherwise it should be working. Yeah. What else? What else is new? So Gassan figured out a big issue with Tutor. Tutor does everything with so this is an embarrassing issue. So where is it? It's npm CI. So this was discussed here in this front-end working group issue. So this is really embarrassing. In Tutor, we build Docker images, and very often we have to install Node.js requirements. And I used to do that with npm install. For instance, here in this Docker file, you see it used to be npm install. And the thing is that, I didn't know that, this installs requirements from package.json. And if you look at the package.json file from edX platform, some requirements are not pinned to an exact version. So for instance, this hat 1.17.0 means any version starting from 1.17.0. So there are two weird things going on here. First, npm install does not install pinned requirements, and also the Studio frontend requirement here is not pinned. Instead, what we would like to do is to install from package lock.json. And in here, the Studio frontend version is correctly pinned to 1.17.0. The thing is that in order to install from package lock.json, we should not be running npm install, but npm clean install, also shortened as npm CI. And this causes all sorts of trouble down the road. So long story short, here in this PR, we're fixing issues that were really troubling and embarrassing with OpenEdX and edX platform. So yeah, looking forward to merging this. Also, this makes the Docker image building much faster. And there's a similar PR in the Tutor MFE plugin, where I replace npm CI instead of npm install is replaced by clean install. And of course, many people need to rebuild the MFE image very often, so this will make the process much faster. So great contribution. Thanks to Gassan for pointing this out. What else is new in terms of contributions? Lawrence McDaniel, which many of you know because he manages a great blog, Lawrence McDaniel, blog.lawrencemcdaniel.com. Great OpenEdX resource. So Lawrence created a plugin for OpenEdX credentials, and so I personally have no idea what credentials actually are, but if you need credentials running on your platform, then you really want to have a look at this. So this should be working with the latest Maple release, according to this announcement here. So I would encourage you to try it out and report issues to Lawrence. I don't know what's the best way to report issues, maybe in the issues tab here. What else is new? Yeah, so OpenEdX enhancement proposal number 55 was merged. And that's, so here it is. And this OWEP introduces a new role, which is a repository maintainer in the OpenEdX organization, GitHub organization. Hey Akbar, good to see you. So maintainers are people who are responsible for making sure that a repo is basically working correctly, fixing, adding security patches, making sure that requirements are up to date, reviewing PRs, etc. So you can read all about the new role here in this PR, and also probably in the OWEP, in the OpenEdX proposals documentation side, so open-edx-proposals.readthedocs.io, and there we should be able to find OWEP 55 project maintainer, so we can read all about it here. This is a very exciting step for the OpenEdX community because it means that people from outside edX can actually start being maintainers for a repo. So we had core contributors before, but maintainers are it's yet another role with different responsibilities. So I think it's a great step forward. Then there are two meetings which you should know about. Let me close all this. There's the AMEA meetup, which will happen next week. This is a meetup that was scheduled especially for people in Australia or Asia. Most OpenEdX meetups happen in the UTC afternoon, which means that people in Asia and Australia cannot really contribute in any meaningful way, cannot join the meetup. So I encourage you to, if you are in one of these regions, I really encourage you to join the meetup. Sarina, great person. I think this is going to be fun. And also you should be aware that the data working group, has changed the meetup date to them. So this is no longer accurate. So you should have a look at the working groups page in Atlassian. Hey Dwayne, Dwayne Linux. Good to see you here. So this is the big page where we list all of the working groups. So for instance, there is the data working group. So it was announced recently on Slack that the meetup will be moved to Wednesdays. What time? I think it's 2 p.m. UTC. Can I open this calendar? Is it going to work? So this still shows Thursday. It should not be Thursday. So if you were not aware of that before, then you will be able to say, okay, I learned in this stream that the data working group changed their plan. So I think it will happen on Wednesdays. No, certainly not 10 UTC. (8 a.m.) So that's 8 a.m. East Coast. So that will be 12 p.m. UTC. $3:42 from Asia. Yeah, sure. Okay, and that's it for as far as OpenLX. That's all I got on OpenLX news for the past week. So last week I figured maybe it would make sense to start working on hacking edX platform with Tutor, because so many people want to do that. And so we had a great workshop on this at the OpenLX conference 2 weeks ago. And it's not always very intuitive how to do that. So I figured maybe we could have a try and fix one of the issues that happen in edX platform. And there's this particular issue which I find extremely annoying. This has been happening since before the Maple release, so November 22. Let me show you. So if I go to the demo studio, I sign in with admin, and this shows the studio servers encountered an error. And if I open the studio main page, then I realize that I am actually logged in, but it's just that the studio page shows that a very confusing message. There's an error. So this is very confusing. And so this is a stack trace. And it's been consistently happening since before Maple, and it also affects Nutmeg. So I figured we can try to fix that in this session. So I don't know if this is going to be a short or a long session. Hopefully it's going to be very quick. Hopefully we're going to be able to find the bug. I honestly have no idea what the bug is. I know it has to do with OAuth. And I know that I'm terrible at that. I never quite figured out how OAuth actually works. So this might be really tricky. Okay, let's get to work. So this is my Tutor repository. I have no Docker container running, and I can try to reproduce the issue by starting a platform. So you will see that I don't have any plugin enabled. Even the MFE plugin is disabled because I figured this error happens in the studio. We will not be reaching the MFE, so we don't need to enable it at all. So I'm starting the platform here. Let's access the studio locally. This is lagging a bit, I don't know why. So here I'm already signed in. Let's sign out. So the first step, of course, is to reproduce the issue, and this is what I'm setting out to do here. Okay. Studio.local.overhang.io. So you'll notice that my platform is in French. Hope you don't mind. That's probably because of my browser, I think. So let's log in, and boom. This is in French, but it means that an error occurred on the studio. And we can see this error message here, the stack trace session value state missing. So where is this error happening? It's happening inside this library, social core, which is happening inside the Docker container virtual environment, which is here in OpenNX/venv. And we can see that the stack trace does not even mention the edX platform repo, and I have no idea why. So this is going to be really tricky to debug because I am not able to reproduce the issue in development. So I will not be able to run the platform in development, like add a breakpoint inside this library and then work my way out up the stack trace and figure out where we are. So this is going to be really nasty, really nasty debugging. So I figured let's build a workspace, and then so what we want to do is to debug what's happening into this virtual environment. So what we are going to do is to bind mount this virtual environment from the host to the container, and we will add debugging statements in some of those files until we figure out what is going on. Okay, so how do we bind mount this virtual environment from the host to the container? Well, first of all, we need to have the virtual environment folder on the host. To do that, we use this local copy from instruction. So we copy from a service. So we'll copy from the CMS. We'll copy the OpenNX/venv path, and we'll copy here. Let's go. So while I was preparing for this stream, I actually did that already, but I did not go much further. Okay, so now we have this venv folder. So we can and we can open this venv lib Python side packages social core. Let's open this into our IDE. Social core auth social core backends auth.py. That's it. Yeah, auth.py. And the error is happening at line 87. Maybe I should increase the font size. Yeah, let's do this. So this library is raising here an authentication error. Because obviously, so state evaluates to false, to Boolean false. So let's stop the platform and then run. So we're going to this workspace folder. What we are going to do is to start the CMS and bind mount the VE and V folder inside the CMS container. So we're going to start in daemon mode and we're going to mount into the CMS. So if you don't know this -- mount option, it's really cool. You should check out the documentation. It's really cool. It's a new addition from a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to mount. So what's the syntax again? We are going to mount this VENV folder, and we're going to mount it inside openLX-VENV. Okay. So we are bind mounting this folder at this location in the CMS. So it means that if I add like print hello there, then we should be able to see the log in the CMS logs. So I'm checking out the logs coming out from the CMS. And now let's trigger the error again. Let's trigger the error. And I should be able to see print hello somewhere. Let me just a quick break. Sorry about that. Be right back in a minute. Sorry about that. So I was receiving a package at my door. Sorry about that. Let's go back to where we were. Yes, here. So we should be seeing print hello there. We don't see it. That's because the micro WSGI process needs to be restarted every time we make a change in the Python files. So, and to do that, there's a command which should be documented, I think. So if I search for kill in the tutor docs, no, this is not going to work. Reload. Micro WS is going to work. Interesting. It's not documented. Huh. Okay, so So this reload micro WSGI script, which is bundled inside the OpenLX container, it just performs a kill -h hup on the micro WSGI process. So we just need to run this command. So we can check that it's working. Let me close this. So let's have a look at the logs from the CMS. If I run through local exec CMS reload micro WSGI, then we can see that the CMS process is restarting. And if we reload, we should finally be seeing the hello thing. Yes, we can see hello here. I think I have too many screens. So I can close this, and just keep this. Okay, so this is going to be a fairly painful debugging process because we can only use print. We cannot use breakpoints because we are running with micro WSGI, and micro WSGI, especially in combination with Caddy, just does not support interactive shell with a TTY. So, and a breakpoint would need that. So if we print, let's print a couple variables. So we can see that the state is undefined. Let's print it just to be sure. The request state seems to be correctly defined. So let's print the request state. And then the state comes out of this getSessionState method. So maybe we can have a look there. The getSessionState comes out of this strategy. I don't know what's the strategy. So let's print the strategy here as well. Yeah, because I don't know what this session get method actually is. So let's do that. Reload micro local exec CMS reload micro WSGI. Check out the logs. Reproduce the error. And then we can see the print statement. So this is what we are going to have to do. Okay, so state is none, as expected. Request state is not none, it's like a string. And the strategy is actually an instance of this LX Django strategy from the Auth backends library. So this is where the fun part begins. So if you have any question or insights, ideas, please feel free to ask in the chat. I'm all ears. We need to find what this LX Django strategy is. So local, let's run a bash, let's run a Python shell in the CMS. PHP CMS shell. And then I want to find out what is this LX Django strategy is. From import, yeah, LX Django strategy module, yeah, module. So where is it going to be? We cloned our virtual environments, so this library is almost certainly there. Auth backends, strategies. So let's open this auth backends in our IDE. And there we have the edX Django strategy. So let's have a look there. The problem is that the state is undefined. This is what's causing the exception to be raised. The state comes from getSessionState. GetSessionState comes from session gets self name plus state. So what is self name, by the way? What is self name? Let's debug this. Let's reload. This is painful because I need to. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I need to rerun this logged command every time I restart the CMS container, so let's do it this way. I can quit this. I can quit this. Let's re-trigger the error and have a look at the name. Name is edX-OAuth2. And then this edX-OAuth2 is suffixed with _state, and I have no idea what this means. Session gets. So this is probably loading the session cookie and then reading this entry inside the session cookie, I think. So what is the session get? I want to open this. So it's inside social Django. Social Django. There you go. Can I pick a different Python interpreter? For social Django? So I want my IDE to work properly, so let's try this. No, it's not going to work. No, it's not going to work. Okay, that's okay. So let's have a look at this Django strategy. Social Django strategy. So the edX strategy actually inherits from the Django strategy. And we are looking for the session get method. Session get. So yeah, so this is actually reading this value from the session. So session should be a dictionary, I'm assuming. So it's the request session. So this comes from cookies. Let's debug this further. Name. Let's print the session. And then reload this. the session is, so this is the full name, no wait, what? Session value state. And cause exceptions from none. Wait, what? Print. Oh no. Okay, so this is actually failing on print self.session. Yeah, because I need to print the strategy session. Self.strategy session. There you go. And this is really guerrilla debugging. Have you ever read this post from Ned Batchelder? Ned Batchelder. Guerrilla debugging. I think it's called, oh, machete mode. It's not guerrilla, it's machete mode. If you've never read this machete mode debugging, it's really cool. It's actually a presentation that he gave a couple of years ago. It basically means hack the hell at the code and until you get it to, until you understand what's happening, and everything is allowed. You can just destroy everything, because then you will restore everything in its initial state. So let's reload the page, cause the error again. This is a session, and the session is a session store object, so it's not like immediately a dictionary. So we need to have a look at Django contrib sessions backends cache session store. Let's have a look at Django. Yay, I love this. Django sessions. Wait. Django contrib sessions backends. Django contrib sessions backends. Cache, that's it? Yeah, cache, and then the session store. So I just want to print all the values that are in there. So there's a cache here. Session store object. We need to look at session base. Session base comes from base, obviously. And then we need to have a look at this underscore session attribute. Yes. Let's have a look at underscore session. That session underscore session. Let's re-trigger the error. Yeah. So this is a session, and indeed the state is not stored there. There's no edx-oauth2 underscore state key there. And so when I first started investigating this issue, I first believed that I had found a solution, and the problem was being caused by the fact that cookies were not transmitted correctly from the front end to the back end. And so I suspect that the session state should be transmitted from the back end to the front end. So maybe the cookie is not like sent correctly. So where is the state store? Is it like in the URL, like in the query string? No, it's not there. So is it in the request? Should it be in the query? So it's this query that is failing. So let's do a full sign-in cycle again from in a private tab, so all cookies are clear here. Let's connect. Here I'm redirected to the LMS. Yes, we're persisting logs. So this is really, some cookies are misusing the recommended same site attribute. This is really worrying, I think, because this might cause the session cookie not to be updated correctly. Okay, and we have more of this as we sign in and the error is triggered. So it says that the cookie will be soon rejected, but not that it is rejected. OpenX language preference doesn't seem to have any kind of relationship with the session cookie. Oh wait, let's have a look at the storage. Okay, we have two different session IDs here. Oh, this is really interesting. We have two different session cookies because they are stored in different domain names. Yeah, so okay. So the studio session cookie should actually be stored in the session cookie should be read from the LMS domain, not from the... What happens if I clear this? Let's delete this one. Is this going to cause... Oh, damn. No, not going to work. Because I cleared all cookies. No. Yeah, so I don't have any session cookie anymore. Okay, let's try to connect again. No data? Oh, there we go. Okay, what if I modify like this? Non-existing domain name .com. So this will, so the non-existing domain name was cleared, and now we will be sending this one. No, not working. So which cookie is being sent? Let's try to log in. Disconnect. Then studio.local.overhang.io. Connect. And so we have this session ID, which is associated to the LMS. And now, so we have these two session IDs. One is AAEC and the other is NOJX. So which one is being sent? I'm guessing it should be NOGE. Session ID, yes. Session ID here is NOGX. So what if we send the same thing, but instead we send the session ID coming from the LMS? Can we do edit and resend? Yes. So we can edit this session ID. Let's modify this. Let's have a look at let's try to send this. So edit and resend. Wait, what? Why are there two session IDs? So it's sending both session IDs. Is there any way to view the session ID that is being sent? So this results in yet an issue, yet an error. Can we view the session ID there? So how do we view the session ID? Session key. The session. The session key. Let's have a look at the session key. So I told you it would be like fairly painful debugging. And cause exception from none. So session key is AAEC. So it's actually this session ID coming from the LMS and not from the CMS. So let's try to delete this one. notmydomain.com and try to reload. Still not working. And here we should be seeing a different session ID. Do we? Authentication process cancelled. This is new. Bad requests. So this is causing it now a bad request. Yeah, so it's authentication process cancelled. Okay, let's recap a bit. So we are having trouble figuring out what is the actual bug on the edX platform, and I want to keep investigating this. I just want to backtrack a little on what I did, so that you can do the same whenever you hack on the edX platform. So what I did is that I first ran copy from to copy the virtual environment from the CMS container to the host, and this resulted in generating this venv folder. And then what I did was start the platform, and I manually bind mounted in the CMS container this venv folder inside the venv folder in the container. And this means that I am able to edit the files from the virtual environment on the host here in my IDE on the host, and see the changes on the container. The problem is that I need to do that in production because I cannot reproduce the bug in development. So usually when you hack on edX platform, you do this in development mode. This is why this is especially a difficult use case. Now let's come back to our problem and try to figure out what is going on. Are we logged in? No, we're not logged in. So I find it strange that the session cookie is stored both on the studio domain and the LMS domain. So we have a session ID here that corresponds to the studio, and if I try to log in, I will get a session that comes from the LMS domain. And this is strange because the well, we should definitely not have two different sessions going on at the same time. And it's almost certainly related to that, to this matter, because the OAuth state property is stored in the session. So maybe I can have a look at these sessions on the back end to see where to see whether either one of these sessions has a state property. So so I want to load a session from there. So I need to look at the caches. Let's look at the caches. Let's split our screen in two. Settings. What is settings session cache alias? It's default, cool. So let's have a look at this cache. It's backed up by Redis. Keys. Let's have a look at all the keys. There you go. So we have all of these keys in the cache. They are all prefixed with django.contrib.sessions.cache, which is not very convenient. We should add, like here, a dot or an underscore, but anyway. And we are looking for this KA yeah, this one. Is it this one? KAAN69? No, it's not this one. It's KA8. Session. It's not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So let's have a look at this. Get with the key. So this session does not include the edx-auth2 underscore state entry. Let's have a look at this one, NOGX. It's I saw it. Where is it? Yeah, it's right there. Let's look at this property. Yes, there you go, bingo! So this edx-auth2 underscore state is stored there. So I think we can bet that if I manually set the session state to this value in the code, then logging in will work. Oh, this is really hacky. Like, don't do this at home. Let's do this. And then reload. I need to reload micro WSGI. No. Not working. Why is it not working? Come on. Authentication process cancelled. Maybe there's something else going on. At least we're making progress. So the session is not read from the right session cookie. The session cookie is dropped by the LMS. So wait, let's have a look at Alex platform. And I'm pretty sure there's a cookie domain setting. Yeah, session cookie domain. Okay. Let's see what is the session cookie domain in the CMS. Settings.session cookie domain. So it's studio.local.overhang.io. Is this being set by Tutor? No. Yeah, so the session cookie domain is set in cms.env.json to the CMS host. It could be set to the LMS host because the studio is assumed to be a subdomain of the LMS. Let's have a look at CM. So I'm pretty sure that I modified this file in the past. So during my upgrade to Maple, I made a commit which changed wait, what? Oh, there you go, next page. So this is GitLab, this is my privately hosted GitLab that I use mostly for CI. So previously, the session cookie domain was the common domain between the LMS and the CMS. And now it isn't anymore. Now it's just the CMS or the LMS. And there's a message between about that in the commit. So shared cookie domain between LMS and CMS is no longer recommended. Right. Right. There's a fly like Studio, but it shares a session cookie with the LMS. This either forces Studio to be on a subdomain of the LMS or the LMS to be Studio will use LMS's OAuth-based single sign-in. If the cookie, the domain can be decoupled to improve both. Okay. Okay, register an SSO client in LMS. So I think this. This is what actually is going on. Configure LMS to Login Studio when logging out by adding, yeah. Find your new client. Allow Studio to allow completion of OAuth flow. Use a separate session cookie. Yes. Let's. Oh yeah, this is good. This is good. Oh yes, this is good. I was missing that. Oh god. Did I oh, what is the session cookie name? What is session cookie name? In the studio, it's session ID, of course. Let's modify this. So in Tutor production settings, for the CMS, well, actually, it's not just production settings. It's settings both for production and development. Let's pick a different cookie name. Now, Tutor config save to apply the changes from Tutor, and reload. Then let's try the workflow again. Studio.local.overhang.io, and I need to get rid of the changes from here. Also reload. Yes, and it's working. Now I'm extremely happy. Let's check that. Let's close this. Let's stop everything. I want to restart the platform without bind mounting the virtual environment. So let's create a new branch in Tutor. Add an entry to the changelog. Fix string studio login, and I'm signing this. This is a new thing that we like add our names to changelog entries, such that the contributions of other people can be better recognized. So what did we do? Let's not mount CMS. Let's not mount the virtual environment. Let's try to log in again. Hi Zonka, thanks for the clap. I'm actually pretty happy because this bug has really been pain by ass for a very long time. So I hope this is working now. Let's try to log in. And it's working, yay! Okay, a victory lap. Woo! Victory dance. I'm really happy about this. Let's close everything there. I'm going to need this URL to document the issue. And let's commit the change. Log in to the studio is causing although the user was correctly connected. See the issue here, and we had we had an issue. The issue was described here. See the issue description. The error was caused by the fact that both LMS and CMS session cookies were being sent to the CMS, and the LMS session cookie was considered the right one. To clarify between both cookies, we need to have different cookie names, session cookie names, between the LMS and the CMS. This requirement was actually documented here. So do we get it in step 5 of this authentication migration document? What else? What else should we mention? Maybe close this, although it's not the same repository. Maybe it will work. And then open a pull request. Also, maybe mention the fact that this was debugged during a live stream. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. Let me find the link. The link to the stream. What's the link to the stream? How can I find this? I need to go in the YouTube studio to find the link to the stream. Okay. Information, have a look at the live stream in which this issue was debugged. No, not that one. Yeah, this one. This is the right URL, right? Looks correct. Okay, and then let's create a pull request. And say that this is ready for review. you, team developers. Okay. Thanks, Arkar. I enjoyed it. I'm glad that it worked out. I really wasn't sure it would. Okay, so this should close our session for today. Do you guys have any question? Anything else that you would like to see for next week? Please do not say e-commerce. Please do not say e-commerce, because I have no idea how e-commerce works. Pierre Maillot from EduLib is actually the new expert with e-commerce, and Lawrence McDaniel as well. He's done some extensive work with e-commerce. So anything except e-commerce. Maybe next week we can upgrade some additional plugins to Nutmeg. So what else can I say? So the bottom line is this: that's whenever you need to debug something with OpenNX, you really want to bind mount some of the folders from the container to the host, or vice versa, to get data from the container to the host. You need to run copy from, and this copy from command should be documented here. Yeah, in the OpenNX development section. So you really want to have a look at that. And then once you have copied the folder from the container to the host, then you can bind mount it back to the container with -- mount. And this is really, it should be here as well. So this -- mount thing, it's also documented here in the OpenNX development section of the docs. And you might also want to use the reload micro WSGI command, but that's really when you need to debug stuff in production, when you want to reload the settings and whatnot. So Arkar, you're asking whether we can make OpenNX a little bit more beautiful with third-party CMS. Is that possible? It's definitely possible. So I created the Richie plugin to have Richie run on with OpenNX and Tutor. I'm not great with front-end development, so I wouldn't know how to make it, how to make OpenNX much more beautiful. I'm not like the right person, but this is really what you want to look at to improve like the OpenNX course catalog. And there's actually an issue that I need to look at to make it possible to easily theme Richie. This is something that I need to work on. I'm not sure this would be good for a live session. Maybe you could try. I guess maybe you could try. I need to think about it. And then to Linux, you're asking, do you have any suggestion for using front-end framework with OpenLX API without using MFE. So the idea would be that you write code on the front end, and then you use the OpenLX API to like bypass completely the OpenLX front end, and like implement your own front end from scratch. I guess this is possible. I've never done it. You would be like throwing away half of OpenLX, like the complete front end. So it's a huge endeavor. I'm not sure I would recommend that you do it. So I don't have a great suggestion for that. Instead, I would suggest that you look. What you can do, and what I've seen people do, is reuse the OpenLX front end, and then you can add stuff there by leveraging the existing OpenLX APIs. So this is definitely possible. But so you still use the OpenLX front end and just add stuff there, not by modifying the backend, but by making API calls to the backend. But I don't have any more precise suggestions to achieve that. Okay, so if you have any further questions, then feel free to ask them in the forum or here in the comments. And I hope to see you next week. Until then, wish you a happy hacking. Cheers.